All right, we're ready.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order with the roll call.
Enslinger.
Here.
Hadley.
Here.
Mirza.
Here.
Osterloo.
Here.
Schmitz.
Here.
Gers. Sonny.
Here.
Dosher.
Here.
We have quorum.
Awesome. Any conflicts of interest for the agenda item? All right, move on to approving the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Second, that we approve the agenda. Any discussion? I think we can go to voice call on this one, can't we?
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Aye.
All right, we have all ayes. That was favorable too. Meeting minutes from the previous meeting are in the packet. Any corrections or additions?
Move to approve. Second.
Second that we approve them. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item would be, our next meeting would be October 15th, 2024.
Set the date. Second.
Second, that we set the date for October 15th, 2024. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, first agenda item. Paul Gronowig has applied for a variance permit for maximum height of 3 stories versus 2.5 stories to build 3-story sixplexes located at 1800 block of East First Avenue. Legal descriptions in the packet. The real property is zoned neighborhood shopping. Mark.
Notice was sent out to the neighbors, published in the paper, signs posted. There were 2 responses in favor that didn't make the packet. One of them had a request for fence and trees, and then there was one that was opposing that also did not make the packet. You have those letters in front of you. Larry's also received them. One was from Paul Gronowig in favor. Pepper was against it for the height portion of it. And then Moody's were the ones that requested the fence and some trees being planted. This is neighborhood shopping in this area. It's all surrounded by R4. I don't know the history as to why this section is neighborhood shopping, which is this red piece right here, R4, and then this is conservation, which is the golf course itself. R4, you can go up to 6 stories or 60 feet. I did consult with Justin on this one because neighborhood shopping has 2.5 stories or 35 feet. How do you define 2.5 stories? I mean, probably a garden view with 2 above, but that still isn't any height restriction at all because your story could be 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet. So with the ordinance update that we'll talk about later, we're probably going to take the stories portion out of it and just go with the height level because of that. It's a very arbitrary number. So, but that's not what's in front of you right now. It's the stories part. And because it's more restrictive with the stories being listed than the height, we have to go by the stories for this one. So,
Just for our own benefit, what is the height limit in this area and what is being applied for?
the height limit in this area is 2.5 stories or 35 feet. And what's being applied for would be 3 stories. If it goes above the 35 foot, it's still by the stories because stories is more restrictive than the height portion itself because it's defined in their stories or the foot.
Assuming that's to the ridge or the uppermost part of the structure.
Correct. Yep. The apartments to the west, that's R4 there. It's a 2-story building for those apartments. It looks a lot bigger. Everybody thinks it's a 3-story building there. It's only 2. It's because it's 60 feet wide. So when you put your truss on there and go with 412 pitch, it goes up quite a ways. I can answer any questions that you have for me regarding this.
Questions for Mark?
The 2 buildings, is that what we're looking at?
No, they're proposing to do a phase 1 and a phase 2. I should go back to this is what they're proposing them to look like. 4 units in phase 1 and probably 4 in phase 2. They will have, since this is neighborhood shopping, a plan would have to come back before planning commission for plan approval at that time, which will deal with the drainage and everything else with that as well. He did say that in this plan that he has, he's leaving the bottom two open on one of the sixplexes because he would like to probably have a community room in one of them and the other one maybe weight room, coffee shop type of thing for the residents there. And access is what there'll probably be some off the end as well, but he'd like his main to be off of 38P there, East First Avenue. But that plan portion would be at another meeting.
Would you like to say anything? Are you here to speak to this one? Okay.
What's the width of that lot?
It's a whole, so this variance would be for the 3 lots along First Avenue,
Right.
not any of the ones behind. About 200 feet, so about 600 feet by the depth is roughly 160 feet.
Yeah.
75 feet.
He is proposing some garages with it as well, so.
So if this was zoned R4, would he need, is that permitted or conditional on R4?
It is, yes. In R4, you can have multifamily up to 24 units per parcel. So if you were to put 3 of them on one parcel, 2 on another parcel, and 3 on another, for a total of 8, he wouldn't need any conditional use because it'd be 18, 18, or 18, 12, 18. So you could actually put 4 of them. Now there's not enough room to put 4 on.
Right.
Because we go by parcels for dwelling units. So in R4, there would be no height, he wouldn't have the variance for height. Maybe, depending on if he platted it out separately, he wouldn't need the conditional use.
I just see that if this gets denied, he's just gonna come back and ask for a rezone and we'll just do it anyway. So
I'm kind of wondering why we don't just rezone it and skip this variance.
right.
Well,
Because right now it's-
he's probably got another agenda maybe, too.
Could be.
Just keeping it either.
That's a good point, without property owner asking for it.
Well, and we do have in a couple other spots some, neighborhood shopping like on where Rob's shortstop used to be or Arnie's is. Because in a planning perspective, you want to have some little commercial nodes every once in a while to have your coffee shop, a gas station, so that they don't have to drive a mile away to get a convenience store or something like that.
What do we think, guys?
Move to approve.
Motion
There's a second.
and a second. And the second is that we approve the variance as presented. Is there any further discussion from this body? Anybody in the audience? All right. Let's try voice call here and see if it goes. I think we'll be all right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Is that an aye?
An aye for me.
All right. All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Is there any other business to come before this board?
Yes. So, like I stated earlier, the zoning ordinance, we are going to have a public input session on Wednesday, October 16th at 2 p.m. here in council chambers. We'll take recommendations from the public for that, take that into consideration. And then the next steps would be some smaller groups with staff, maybe a planning commission member or 2, council member or 2, and then bring it to planning commission to do the formal process of adopting. Obviously, you're all welcome to come to that planning input session, although I would ask that we not have a quorum at that, so not everybody, obviously it's 2 in the afternoon, so with work schedules might not work for everybody, which is understandable. But also looking from you guys, maybe one or two of you to be on that subcommittee for meeting in the future, bouncing ideas off of you as well would be a good thing to know up front. So, any volunteers for something like that?
Tentatively, I'd say yes, as long as it works with the schedule. It's open right now, but who knows?
Well, and the smaller group commit, I mean, that's gonna be probably a lot of emails or meet once every 2 weeks or something like that for a couple hours, and pretty flexible on time for something like that. I have gone through the ordinance already and tried to make everything very cohesive and correct wording from one zone to another zone to another. So I've got a lot of updates in there. It's just what else do we want to do and expand and change within. So.
Any other takers, anyone else want to do?
I'd be interested if it works with my schedule.
Me too, but I don't know if it's in the afternoon.
Well, just this one will be in the afternoon,
Right.
just for this public input session. All the other meetings,
Everything else.
we can do whenever.
Oh.
We'll probably put a email out to whoever says yes and say, all right, here's your time block. Will it work for you? Won't it work for you? Let's get the best one, type of thing.
For that initial meeting, why don't you just send the notice to all members?
Yeah.
And then, again, schedule is like, I don't know what I'm gonna do at 1 o'clock today, so.
Right. But with the small group meeting, though, we want to have the same person or
Yeah.
people continue through and not just,
No, I get that, but I'm just saying for the public input.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not that the further meetings aren't gonna be interesting, but this will probably be the most interesting.
sure.
Potentially,
Yeah, I'll send a reminder out to all of you.
We
Yeah.
just don't want 4 people there, because then we're.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
And I bet we can guarantee that Larry's gonna stay down in Texas. He's not coming back, so we don't have to worry about him.
You sure, Larry?
Well, probably not. I'm not planning on coming back till November.
All right.
So,
Snowing down there yet?
No, but it actually, is below 100 degrees. Just for your information, it's 50 degrees cooler up there than it is down here.
Ouch, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
I'm sweating just hearing that.
Yeah. Wasn't just saying it.
Anything else, Mark, any other business?
no, that's it.
All right. Public input portion, if you need to address the board on an item that was not on the agenda, excluding personnel items, please come to the podium, state your name and your concern. Presentations are limited to 3 minutes. Items will be considered, but no action will be taken at this time. Seeing nobody come forward, we are adjourned.